Is it better to start a business or acquire an existing business? So it depends what stage you are in your life. If you don't have a lot of capital, I recommend obviously starting a company, and especially one that's not CapEx intensive. And don't ever create a company where you have to build inventory, a product. Or if you do, make sure that you use the Michael Dell approach, which is sell the product first and then build it. For example, with the merchandise I sell on my YouTube channel, I don't have to build it. I don't have to create it. I sell it first, and then the merchandise company ships it after it's already been built. So I would be careful with anything inventory based. So I would say if you're at an early stage in your life, you don't have a lot of capital, I would start a company. And you can take my complete business plan course for more details on that. Now, in terms of buying a company, if you're going to do that, obviously make sure that valuation-wise, you buy it at a discount. And the way to know what a company is worth is look at publicly traded companies and see how many times earnings that company trades at and what the revenue multiple is. Okay, and when I talk about price earnings, what I'm talking about is price to earnings. The numerator is price, denominator is earnings. That means for every $1 in earnings, how many times that $1 are people paying for that company? And you can look at price to revenue as well, especially for companies that aren't profitable. Which means this, price over revenue. For every $1 in revenue that company makes, how many times are investors paying for that $1? And I mention that because what I want you to do is look at the valuation of similar companies and make sure that you purchase this company at a discount to that. Or you can find a broken company and run it better. And that's what private equity firms do. They parachute in great CEOs to work at companies and turn them around, and then they sell them for a profit. In terms of your question about franchising, I would do a lot of due diligence. So I almost bought a franchise years ago, in the 90s actually, for Subway, the restaurant chain. I did a ton of work on it. It was in 1993. I did a ton of work, and I did really well in the markets when I was a kid and stuff. I looked into it, and I decided not to do it because what Subway does is, I did a ton of research as well. What they do is if you open up a franchise that's very successful, the Subway restaurant franchise, which is the biggest franchise on the planet now, bigger than McDonald's. But if you open up one that's successful, they can open up another one close by and cannibalize your business. So just do your thorough due diligence. Go to Better Business Bureau website, go to Glassdoor's website as well if you want to read up on what the management team is like for that franchise company, etc. And I always recommend using OPM, not the drug, but OPM stands for other people's money. I don't ever want you to get a loan to start a company. Why? Because banks are chicken. And if you're just a little bit late paying back your loan, they can take everything, man. And make sure to register your company name so that, God forbid, if things don't work out, investors and the bank can't come after your house and your assets. They can just come after your company. But I don't recommend getting a loan. I recommend getting equity investors, high net worth investors to invest in your company. And what you can do is you can read my networking book. You can go to my website, haruneducation.com, and download it for free. And that will teach you how to get meetings with anybody. And I teach you that in much more detail in the first semester of the MBA degree program.